Welcome to the Menga podcast. We're diving into something, well, a little different this time.
Different good, I hope.
Oh, definitely different good if you're into the idea of, like, your computer systems being vulnerable. We're talking ticketing systems, device management, that kind of thing.
Ah, the glamorous world of IT infrastructure. Not usually where people expect to find exciting security flaws.
Right, but trust me, this one's a doozy. We're looking at GestSup. You know, that program a ton of companies use for their help desk and device management. Turns out versions 3.2.44 and earlier, not exactly Fort Knox.
Yeah, not exactly. Count them, 5 CVEs discovered by security researchers. And these aren't just hypothetical, oh, this could maybe happen scenarios either.
No, these are the real deal, with the potential to really turn a company's IT upside down. Starting with, and this one's almost too easy, account takeover.
Yeah, CVE 2024-23163. Forget fancy hacking. This one was just bad design. Basically the way GestSup handled user profiles. Let's just say it wasn't secure.
So someone's sitting at their computer, not even needing to be some kind of elite hacker, and they can just take over any account.
Pretty much. They found a way to basically rewrite your user info, email address and all. From there, password reset, boom, they're in as you.
And once they have the email, it's game over, right? I mean, password reset emails usually go right to the user's inbox.
Exactly. The researchers even tested it, showed how easy it was to snag the admin account.
Admin account. Okay, that's not good. We're talking like access to everything, not good.
You got it. Sensitive data, configurations, even creating new users with high-level access, it's all right there.
Oof, that's a PR nightmare waiting to happen. Okay, so that's one down, but we've got 4 more vulnerabilities to go. What's next on our hit list?
Classic. We're talking SQL injection, CVE 2024-23166 to be exact.
SQL injection. Okay, that one rings a bell, but
yeah.
Maybe you could refresh my memory and our listeners too. What is it exactly and why is it such a big deal?
Sure. SQL injection, SQL line, it's all about injecting malicious code into a website or app's database.
So instead of asking the database a normal question, you're sneaking in something sneaky to get it to do what you want.
Exactly.
Oh.
And with GestSup, they found a bunch of places where user input, stuff you type in, wasn't checked properly before being used in those database queries.
Uh-oh. I'm getting that this is bad feeling again.
Yeah, and for good reason. Think about it. An attacker could use this to steal all sorts of sensitive stuff. Passwords, customer info, internal messages. We're talking major data breach territory.
The kind of thing that keeps CEOs up at night, huh?
You bet. And it gets worse depending on the vulnerability. They could even change or delete data, hold it hostage, mess everything up, you name it.
Okay, SQL injection, officially bad news. But the researchers found something else too, right? Something about file manipulation.
Yeah, this one's CVE 2024-23164. And it gets kind of technical, but it boils down to how GestSup handles file uploads, specifically attachments for tickets.
Attachments. Okay, so we've gone from taking over accounts to messing with databases, and now we're on to files.
Yeah.
What's the issue there?
It's all about how the software names and renames those files. When you upload something, GestSup gives it a unique name. But when tickets are merged, it has to rename the attachments to match.
Seems harmless enough.
Yeah, except the researchers figured out that if they messed with the file name of an uploaded file, they can actually get GestSup to create a file with a PHP extension.
Hold on, PHP, like the programming language.
Ding, ding, ding.
Yeah.
And PHP files, they're often used to build those dynamic web pages. So by tricking GestSup into creating one, they basically made a backdoor.
A backdoor. So now we're not just peeking at files, we're talking full-on controlling the server.
You got it. Remote code execution, it's like handing the keys to the kingdom to an attacker, and that's not even the end of it.
There's more, seriously.
Right.
What else do they find?
Buckle up, because this next one is CVE 2024-23165, and it's all about reading sensitive files.
So less about hijacking the whole system and more about snooping around. Still not great though, right? I mean, servers are full of important stuff.
You said it. And this all boils down to how GestSup handles something you might not expect. Email templates.
Email templates. You mean like the pre-written messages for password resets, that kind of thing?
You got it. Administrators could customize those templates, but there was a problem with how GestSup stored the template name.
Let me guess they didn't store it securely. And someone found a way to use that.
You're on a roll. By messing with the HTTP request, basically the message your browser sends, they could inject commands to get access to files they shouldn't.
So they're tricking the software into handing over the wrong files, and those files could contain anything. Passwords, financial record.
Anything on that server. The researchers were even able to read the password file that's like the master list of user accounts.
Okay, seriously, this software sounds like a security nightmare. between the account takeovers, the database stuff, the file manipulation. But there's still one more, right?
Yep, CVE 2024-23167, an unauthenticated stored cross-site scripting vulnerability, or as the cool kids call it, XSS.
Okay, hold on. I got to stop you right there. XSS. What in the world is that?
Imagine this. A hacker slips some malicious code into a website. Anyone who visits that site then has that code run in their browser.
So it's not just about attacking the server itself, it's using the server to attack the users.
You got it. And get this. In GestSup, it was the calendar feature.
The calendar. How do you even exploit a calendar?
So you create a new calendar event, right? But instead of a normal title, you put in malicious JavaScript code, like hiding a trap in plain sight.
And because it's a shared calendar, anyone who looks at it triggers that code.
Bingo. And because it's stored on the server, it's a ticking time bomb waiting for someone to stumble upon it.
Okay, I think I see a pattern here. We've got account takeovers, messing with the database, file shenanigans, and now this XSS thing. It's like every part of the software had a glaring weakness.
And that's what makes security so tricky. It's not just about finding one flaw, it's about how all these different vulnerabilities can work together.
So it's not enough to just fix one thing. You need to look at the big picture and understand how these weaknesses connect.
Exactly. And that's what attackers do. They look for any opening they can find and often chain those vulnerabilities together to really cause some damage.
Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground here, and it's honestly a bit overwhelming. If I'm someone who uses software every day, but I'm not a tech expert, what's the main takeaway? What should I remember from all this?
I think the biggest takeaway is that security vulnerabilities can be lurking anywhere. You never know where the next weakness might pop up.
So it's not enough to just trust that the software is secure. You have to think about what if it's not.
Exactly. It's about understanding the risks and taking steps to protect yourself. And that starts with being aware of common threats like SQL injection, XSS, things like that.
So even a little knowledge about cybersecurity can go a long way.
Absolutely. You don't need to be an expert, but being aware is half the battle. And the other half, well, it's about taking those practical steps to stay safe.
Like what? What are some things people can do right now to protect themselves?
First things first, keep your software updated. Those updates often include security patches that fix these kinds of vulnerabilities.
So no more ignoring those update notifications, no matter how annoying they are.
Nope, think of it like locking your front door. Simple, but important. And just like you don't use the same key for every lock, use strong, unique passwords for everything.
Okay, good point. I'll admit I'm guilty of using the same password sometimes. But you're right, that's not a good idea.
It's like giving away a master key. And lastly, be careful what you click on. Phishing attacks are getting more sophisticated all the time.
Right, like those emails that try to trick you into giving up your information.
Exactly. Don't click links from unknown senders. Double-check website addresses before you enter any personal info. If something seems off, trust your gut.
Trust but verify. Right.
Exactly. And when in doubt, ask for help. Talk to your IT department or find a trusted security resource. Don't be afraid to ask questions.
So even though it seems complicated, understanding these vulnerabilities helps you know what questions to ask.
Exactly. It's about being proactive and taking control of your own security.
Okay, so final thoughts, any parting words of wisdom for our listeners?
Remember, everyone, security is a journey, not a destination. Stay curious